Today on our show,
Netflix $20 billion in debt?
Disney launching its own streaming service?
All that and more in today's podcast.
What's in our coffee? Hi everyone, how's everyone doing today? I am Jeff.
And I'm Mustafa.
We're here with the What's in Our Coffee podcast, sponsored, of course, by MetaSense Marketing, here to bring you all news events that are ranging from entertainment to the business world to marketing, and a lot's going on in the world today.
It is. Right now, the world is afire with news.
Now, what kind of news do we have going on? Any kind of events going on, Mustafa?
Today, we've just been told that Netflix is $20 billion in debt.
$20 billion?
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it?
It's quite a bit. I mean, what would lead to a company amassing that much amount of debt? What have you heard?
From what the reports say, it is because of the type of money they're spending on shows. These shows that they're producing cost a lot of money, and from just on shows, they've spent $2.5 billion.
And I heard that's an increase from last year's $1.7 billion.
Yeah.
So it's only going up, and one can only imagine what's going to be next year. I feel like they're spending all this money to pump out the original content to stay on top of the streaming world. You have different streaming services such as Hulu and Amazon Prime and HBO Go, all these different streaming services that are pumping out their own original content. It's making Netflix kind of back into a corner and spend as much as they can to stay on top with shows such as the Marvel Netflix shows, which we'll get to in a little bit. Orange is the New Black, The Crown, all these shows they're pumping out just so they can be recognized as...
Yeah, and most of them get a generally positive, treatment to them. Like, most of them...
Except Iron Fist.
And no one cares about Iron Fist. But most of them have gotten relatively good reviews, right? And it has been keeping their stocks and everything keep going up. They've only had only a couple of dings here and there with the one show. Did you hear about it? Santa Clarita Diet or something like that?
I don't even know. What does that even mean?
Exactly. So
and you mentioned stocks, which is very important because I pulled up a quarterly report of last year. Quarter one, they had about $122 per stock. Quarter two was $111 per stock. Quarter three, $101 per stock. Ended with $130 per stock.
So they ended the year pretty high, yeah.
Pretty high, but I mean, that's a pretty big ebb and flow. I mean, we're looking at the stocks right now. It sounds like it's down 1.16.
At 1.16, yeah, 0.69%. But right now it is at 168. So if you're keeping track, last year it was 130. It ended with 130, and now it's at 168. So
it's up and down,
it's up and down, but
like my life.
That's a discussion for another day. But this is just proving that I feel like I'm going to be the optimist here, and I'm guessing you're going to be the pessimist.
I guess so, and again, I'm not trying to dispute Netflix. I mean, 91 Emmy nominations as a few less of HBO. They're pumping out quality content, but at what cost, Mustafa? At what cost?
Exactly. But I don't know. I feel like 168. That's a lot more. That's a lot higher than last year, and it's only going up. By the end of the year, it'll probably be at. I'm gonna go as far to say 180, maybe 190.
Remember this conversation, everyone, so we can remember how wrong Mustafa really was.
All right.
And I understand that Netflix. I mean, how many viewers do they have? 104 million viewers worldwide.
Yeah. They have 104 million users worldwide, which is not only is that a lot, because that's obscenely that's way too much.
Quite a bit.
That's crazy. That's a lot of people, and on top of that, that's 25% increase from last year. So it's only going up. So you can see where I can say where this is not that big of a problem.
I guess, but look at it from the investor's point of view. Here you have a handful of companies to put your money in. Are you going to choose the company that's $20 billion in debt? Are you really going to go with that? No. And if you're already an investor, I'd be pretty upset.
Open it, stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
I mean, all of your money. I mean, wouldn't you be worried in the least bit?
Okay. As far as if this was let's just say this is a normal company, most of us have never heard of it. I would not invest because I'm a company $20 billion in debt. I was like, what? That's way too much.
Which
But
is way more money than we're ever gonna have.
yeah, we're never having that much. But you keep in mind that this is Netflix. This is a brand that has like recognition. Everyone knows this, and like you can see, they're pumping out quality content. So I don't think this is going to be an issue.
But you begin to look into the different shows and how like specific budgets they're allocating towards them. Like The Crown, they spent $130 million. Like
It's all those costumes,
all those
and
costumes,
sets.
all the sets. It's
Period.
Is it really gonna affect like in the long run about like I don't know. I just feel like they're. I know the old adage is spend money to make money, but at what cost? You have all this content that they're putting out, and the other content that's non-original, which leads right into our next topic, and that is Disney pulling out all of its original content and instead using its own independent streaming service. This event has, caused the entertainment world and the business world to be set ablaze. Everyone's wondering why they're doing this. Is it going to be profitable? How do you think about this?
They're pulling all those content out from Netflix, right? So, I can see why Disney would do it because
they have a lot of stuff.
Right, they have a lot of stuff, and they want to keep everything in house. Spend less money on third party. Don't want to distribute because they're paying Netflix to distribute their content, like different stuff like that. Like, and if there's a potential for them to keep everything in one spot,
they're gonna do it.
Yeah, exactly. They're gonna do it.
But one spot, that's a great point you mentioned because. Look, I'm a lazy college kid. I want all of my shows, all of my movies in one spot. I don't have to spend more money on other streaming services. I mean, keep everything in-house, do one streaming service, and that's fine. Disney pulling out might be a good thing for Disney, but it might reflect poorly on Netflix. Disney CEO Bob Iger, he must know what he's doing. He must have some kind of plan if he has such faith in this plan.
Right. And like again, me personally, like I have Netflix and I have HBO now, which I only use for Game of Thrones every 3 months.
What's Game of Thrones again? I'm not familiar with that.
Oh yeah, I bet. But yeah, and I only have those two, and I don't want something else because that's a whole nother service that I would have to pay for. Again, we're struggling college students. That's a whole.
I'm trying to figure out like where my next meal is going to come from. I don't want to worry about where to watch. I don't know, Marvel's Civil War.
Exactly. But apparently this deal won't go into effect until 2019, so at least we have a couple more years to not worry about this. But after that, yeah, there's definitely happening. Like this is.
And what if we keep speculating, but we got the facts? But what if it doesn't pan out for Disney? What if at the end they do all this thing and it doesn't? They have nothing to show for it. It doesn't get anything good from it.
Clear as crystal. You get nothing. You lose.
And Disney has shown that it's had a reputable history. I mean, how old is Disney? Like 80 years old? It's going strong. I mean, I get it. They're really popular right now. They have the big blockbusters coming out, like Marvel superhero movies, the animated movies. Zootopia and Marvel Civil War made the most money in the year 2016. They were
and they have Star Wars, which made the most money in 2015.
Star Wars. And you pull this away from Netflix, I feel like Disney might prosper. Netflix is going to suffer, and especially because of the last event we were talking about, it's not really a thing they can afford to do right now.
Exactly. And this also brings the question: Marvel if you're not aware, Marvel have a deal with Netflix to produce a certain amount of shows per year, and like that's where they do their street level like crime fighters.
Daredevil, Jessica Jones, recently The Defenders just came out.
Yeah, all that, and that brings the question: what will happen to them, right?
I guess time will only tell. I read that they're still trying to work out a solid contract deal. They don't know what's going to happen to them yet. I can only hope that, it stays them on because those shows, again, critical acclaim almost all around. Again, we mentioned Iron Fist,
right.
But, it's its own thing.
Yeah, I personally think it will stay in the Netflix wheelhouse because it's produced just as much by Netflix as it is by Marvel, so.
But again, time will only tell. We have all these things up in the air, but... I guess we're going to have to follow up on it and see. And that concludes today's podcast. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Mustafa.
For any questions about the business world, check out our website at MetaSenseMarketing.com. Have a great day, guys.
Have a good day, guys.